Hi everybody, this is Jen from Cookies, Cupcakes, and Cardio.com. Today we're going to make red velvet cupcakes from scratch using all of these ingredients displayed in front of you. You're going to need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees, so do so and we'll be right back. So what we're going to need to make our red velvet cupcakes is 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. You're going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which will be combined with the 1 teaspoon of vinegar, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 eggs, 2½ cups of sifted cake flour, 1½ cups of white granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a cup of butter, and 1 cup of buttermilk. You also will need some sort of red food coloring, and you'll need about 2 tablespoons. I don't use as much as 2 tablespoons, but you can use anywhere up to that depending on the redness that you are seeking in your red velvet. So we are going to clear this away, get started, and I will show you what to do first. So what we're going to do first is combine our cake flour, salt, and cocoa powder. Normally when you'd be making your dry ingredient collection, you would add either baking powder or baking soda that the recipe calls for. With this one, you're not going to add the baking soda. It gets mixed in with the vinegar as the final step. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you don't add the baking soda at this step. It's something that's easy, that if you've been baking for a long time, you're used to mixing that in, and you actually have to keep track of the fact that you're not supposed to. So I know I've done and made those mistakes before. So you're going to set this off to the side, and then we're going to start mixing our butter in the mixer. So we're going to start by creaming our ½ cup of butter. So you just want to put it in your mixer or mix it up by hand, just until it's nice and light and creamy. And then we're going to just add our 1½ cups of white sugar. And then I'm going to let this mix together for about a minute and a half until it's all combined and it's nice and light and fluffy. So give your bowl a scrape to get the butter off, any butter off the side. And next we're going to try to get in 1 egg at a time. If they both go in, it's not really that big of a deal. Just want to incorporate them one at a time. Add your second egg in. And you can add in the vanilla. Make sure that's all mixed up and incorporated. Give your bowl a scrape. Now with the red dye, you can use the standard dye or the standard food coloring that comes in the that you can get at the grocery store. You'll need to use quite a bit of that if you're really looking for a vibrant red. I'm going to use just a little squirt of this Americolor soft gel paste. It's really concentrated, so I don't feel I need to use the full 2 tablespoons. It gets pretty red and it comes out red, you know it's red velvet, but that's totally up to you. Just want to make sure that it's a liquid-based one. So when you've got that all done, your next step is coming right up. So we've got our wet ingredients mixed with the exception of the buttermilk and of course the vinegar. So what we're going to do is take the dry mixture with the flour that we made the very first step, and we're going to divide it approximately into thirds, and we're going to divide the buttermilk into half, and we're going to alternate the additions to our batter. So just put about a third of the dry mixture in there. Just be approximate, you don't need to be precise for this part. And get it mostly incorporated, and then you're going to slowly add half of the buttermilk. And after each addition, I'm going to stop and scrape the bowl just to make sure that everything is getting in here. Okay, oops, and let's put much easier to put your dry stuff in when your tilt head is up here. So we'll mix that in. If you don't have any buttermilk available to you in your kitchen, you can make a quick substitute, and you just need to use regular milk, 2%, 1%, skim milk, whatever you've got. 2% obviously would be the best for making one of these types of cakes. And then so you take a cup of the regular milk and you add 1 tablespoon of either lemon juice or vinegar, and you just let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and you'll have something that's close a bit to buttermilk. It won't be exactly like buttermilk, it won't be quite as creamy, but you'll notice that the vinegar and the lemon juice thickens it up from its regular state. You can use that as a quick emergency substitution if you need to. Okay, so we've got all of our buttermilk in, all of the dry mixture in. All we've got to add next is our baking soda and our vinegar. At this point, you want to make sure that you have your cupcake tins filled and that your liners are ready to go, because once we add the vinegar and the baking soda, it becomes a little bit of a time-sensitive thing, and you want to mix the baking soda and the vinegar, dump it in immediately, mix for 10 seconds, and then start filling your cupcake liners. You don't have to panic and like speed through, but just you want to get it while the baking soda and the vinegar mixture is at its peak bubbling. So you notice, even though I didn't put in the 2 tablespoons of the red dye like it called for, you can still tell it's red. It looks really good to me. So I'm going to put my mixer on to low, and I'm going to at the same time pour in my vinegar. You can see it start to bubble. Give it a quick stir, dump it. Just going to turn it up to medium and mix for 10 seconds. Okay, so what that does is lighten your batter. Oopsies, there goes a cupcake. And this batter is quite fluffy and a tender one. And if you've never had red velvet, you're going to love it. It's just a really light chocolate flavor. So all I'm doing here is I'm using my 3 tablespoon. It's actually a cookie scoop. If you don't have it, you can just use regular spoons and spoon out. And what you're going to do is fill your cupcake pan with paper or wax or even foil liners if you have those. And we're just going to fill them up about 3/4 full. And they're going to bake in the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes at 350. So this should be enough cupcake batter for about 2 dozen cupcakes. So I'm going to put this first batch in the oven, and we will be back when they are out and you can see what they look like. So our cupcakes have finished nicely. It was about 21 minutes in my oven, so you can just adjust your cooking time accordingly. They're perfectly rounded. They look absolutely beautiful, that nice red velvet look to them. So while these are cooling, I'll give them about a minute or 2 in the tray, then I'll take them out and have them cooling on the cooling rack. And then in the meantime, I'm going to whip up a batch of cream cheese icing, which we have already done a YouTube video for you, and we will provide a link to that in the show notes below. Then I'll be back and just show you a quick way to finish off your red velvet cupcakes with some cream cheese icing. So to finish off our red velvet cupcakes, there's a couple of different icings that you can put on red velvet. You can do a normal vanilla, 7-minute frosting is also popular, but the absolute favorite to me is a cream cheese icing. Red velvet is just not the same without cream cheese. So we are linking to you our recipe and a video for the cream cheese icing. And in the bag I have, with the cream cheese, fitted with the 1M tip, which is the Wilton brand. And all I'm going to do in order to finish off the cupcakes here is just to put a dollop in the middle, which gives you the height to the cupcake like that. And then just starting at the side, squeezing with even pressure, I'm going around the little cone that I made in the middle, up to the top, stop squeezing, and just pull away just like that. So what we do, make a cone in the middle, all the way around on the outside, and come up to the top, squeeze and pull away. So it's quite simple to finish these ones off. This is a really handy tip if you're looking to get into any sort of decorating. Once again, it's Wilton 1M tip. You can get them in all the different brands that make the tips. You can find them probably with any of them. So yes, thank you for watching our video on how to make red velvet cupcakes and topped off with cream cheese icing. So thanks for watching. We are on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook, and we'll see you again next time.